Millions of men are completely lost right now in life. No direction, no woman, no purpose, no fire. But the scary part is nobody ever really taught any of us how to really build a life as a man. Tonight, we're going to fix that. On this particular episode of the Pillars of Man podcast, no movies, no films. That's my usual go to. But once in a while, I like to do these kinds of episodes where I very affectionately call them a heart to heart. Oh, we big vibing tonight, bro. And one of my favorite topics of all time, possibly the most important topic for most modern male human beings right now. I'll stick to home as usual. So, going through this modern male human experience in American society, how about a prime range of 18 to 40 years old? Something like that. 18 and under, I feel like you should be taking your time, enjoying youth, living at home with your parents, finishing school. So that's that. And then 40 and above, this absolutely still applies. I'm just not there yet. So I feel most comfortable speaking to this range of 18 to 40. Coincidentally, these are also your prime years as a man. I genuinely believe that. I know there's this long-standing joke that the older you get, the more creakier your body becomes. I really feel that. I'm feeling that. I'm in my 30s right now. But it doesn't have to be like that, though. And I'm not just talking about your body. I'm talking about every single day that you continue waking up to that you have zero desire to wake up to. That is the main problem. That is, how about the first problem that I want to attack with you? So, when we're talking about rebuilding your life as a man, that sounds kind of weird to me personally, because it's like, well, I am currently living a life right now. So, what's up with this whole reconstruction angle? Rebuild what? If we could go a little bit deeper than the word rebuild, I am very dramatic, I admit that. But I want to say that this process I'm going to introduce you to now is more of a rebirth. This is a complete transformation of how you perceive existence itself, which sounds really deep and intimidating. But the way you begin can be very simple and humble. You're always starting with what you want. And not to be selfish or narcissistic, but you need to have something to aim for. Whatever that is, once you take aim and you have a certain bullseye in front of you, just a physique that you're trying to hit, maybe a certain figure that you're thinking of for your bank account, some extra income at the end of every month. Maybe it's even more simple than that for you. You literally just want more energy. You just want to feel better. You want to craft out a 24-hour experience that invites you. You are motivated. You are able to summon the discipline to try this, to execute, to really take those actions necessary to live your best life. That is what makes the modern world so paradoxical for any man. I say that because life has, to me, never been more confusing. There are so many things that a man can do easily that doesn't cost too much. These are becoming everyday staples now of male lives. If you work a 9 to 5, and we'll use that as the average, dear Lord, please protect your 9 to 5. I feel like that's becoming rarer and rarer to be able to just work 40 hours every single week and not need to do anything else. So you're getting all your evenings back and you are getting your weekends back. That used to be the standard, correct me if I'm wrong, and nowadays that is becoming this major blessing. And I mean, no, it absolutely is, but 50-hour weeks, 60-hour weeks, 70-hour weeks are becoming all too common, a little bit too close for comfort. For most of us, there is no choice. You got to do what you got to do, bro, in order to survive, right? In order to keep everything that you currently have. And that might not be too much. Here's what's fire about that, though. It is perfectly enough to begin building your very best life. I really want to strip all of this down to the simple, fundamental basics that you will need. Here's the good news right off the bat. You might beat me to the punch. That's fine. This is the good news, though. You have all of these things already, bro. That's how I always set this off. There's no need. I mean, stick with me and we go and chill for at least a little bit longer, but there's really no need, not yet, for you to go anywhere else and try and acquire all of these things that maybe you think right now are necessary. Well, I would need this first. I'm going to need to go get this first. I need to go buy this first. I need to go, I don't know, just have all of these things first. No, you do not. For the simple fact that you're able to look at me right now, that you're able to hear me, you have enough. Because this constant connection where we are communicating with one another, we are engaged with one another, virtually speaking. So you have a stable internet connection and you have a screen of some kind. That allows me to deduce just a little bit further. You may or may not have consistent shelter. You got some warm meals, okay, at your humble abode, wherever you live, and you're most likely clothed, and you have all these basic necessities a modern man needs every single day to survive, we'll say, somewhat comfortably. It could be way more lavish. Sure. Any of us could use more luxury. That's really debatable, but in a very stereotypical sense. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Champagne showers and whatnot. No, you definitely don't need that stuff. You only need everything I just said. And you might already have these things. If you do, brother, you're good to go. See, this is exactly what I mean. There's something about this rite of passage. Boys need to truly become men. And in this modern world, you're not really going to find that anywhere. Not only does it happen in the blink of an eye, if you're super, super young, then you might not really understand what I mean. This is the crazy part. I mean, the older you get, truly, the faster it goes. And when it starts picking up speed, then you go right through K through 12. Okay. Then you got to make that big decision. You going to uni or no uni? Uni, great, more school, at least 4 years. No, I should say at least 2 years. But then 2, 3, 4, very common now for 6, 8, way more common nowadays. And that's awesome. Get your degrees and then head out there and do what it is that you intend to with whatever all of that extensive study in the major that you chose. Great. If not, you're headed right into the workforce. I mean, these two classic traditional pathways towards success for a man really limits your worldview. You feel as though, okay, I'm going to try and make the big bucks through college, or I just start working and I do my very best in the profession I choose. Without degrees, though, at least back in my day growing up, everyone knew your options would be pretty limited. It's going to be tough, maybe not to survive, but it's going to be really tough to get financially free, become wealthy, right? Have that financial abundance. Fast forward to present day 2026. And while all of that is still true, it's also sitting right next to this massive opportunity that is in your hands right now. Okay. You somehow found my podcast. You stumbled upon this episode unintentionally or intentionally. Either way, brother, in this moment, I need you to see the power that brings you in life because it's a whole lot. You really cannot underestimate what a man is able to do on the internet nowadays, which really means you have any kind of information, you have any kind of solution, and you have any kind of answer that your heart truly seeks. Because this is according to your own life situation, your own unique problems of what you are trying to do to begin rebuilding, to really take it above and beyond. What's really cool is for years and years, the typical go-to solution is yes, you would start Googling. And that's still a thing, but or you hit up YouTube, or you hit up some kind of search engine, you type in your query and you see what the results are as they get pulled up. Now, with the power of AI, you are able to get so specific. You are able to personalize it in a way that's never been possible before. I know how that sounds. Oh, okay, let me download ChatGPT and tomorrow I'll start living my best life. All my problems solved. Not exactly. But you cannot underestimate this massive opportunity that lies within the ability to put anything you want into Chat GPT. I'm talking how you already live, your current situation, how you're feeling, and just the very next step that you want to take. You type that in, and ChatGPT is going to give you a proper answer with instructions and steps to take immediately. I believe that one of the deepest, most primordial struggles within every male soul right now is the classic one: fear. I mean, it's not, brother, I'm not saying you're shivering right now. I'm not saying, you got goosebumps, you're feeling super scared when you're thinking about rebuilding your ultimate life. But when you really look at why not, what is stopping you every single day, that hurdle, so to speak, has been effectively removed in 2026. Now, I struggle with this myself because it really is a lot. The excuses are gone. They're just not valid anymore. Unless you are experiencing an extreme situation of poverty or homelessness or just a really, really tough scenario that prevents you from accessing those basic necessities I just mentioned. If that isn't you, then the platform you're sitting on right now, just the state of your current life, that is your springboard. That is the trampoline you can kind of begin jumping up and down on to try and make it to these elevated planes of life, depending on what it is you're trying to do. Physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. The founding idea for my podcast, the pillars, the foundational aspects any man is going to have to take seriously if you are very interested in beginning to live your own best life. So now you're still with me on this, brother, and you're beginning to see a little bit more clearly what you're really dealing with on a daily basis. I'm sure you work some kind of job, and that's automatically going to pull a certain amount of non negotiable time day in and day out every single week. There's just nothing you can do. You have to clock in for this. And then after a certain amount of time, you get your dough, and then you can clock out. And then, throw in the commute, throw in just basic functions of life, the bathroom, eating, hydrating, a little bit of rest and relaxation, honestly, so that you can stay sane in order to even try and build your best possible life. That's going to leave you with only so much time every single week. Funny enough, I actually asked my ChatGPT on my desktop about this, and the average total I got was, if you're working about 40 hours every single week, then you're really looking at 20 solid. That is not that much. That is less than a day every single week. 20 solid, good, clear, free hours. Brother, if you really are alone and it's just you working your job, and maybe you're rocking a 1 BR apartment kind of setup, maybe not, maybe a shared flat, and split the rent. That's super dope. Best case scenario, you're doing that with friends. That's freaking awesome. And but you got your own room. Okay. In your home, 20 hours a week, you're just going to need to decide what it is. What are you going to fill that time frame with? To figure that out, now I'm able to pull in the number one incentive you should begin to use to try and start going this way. That is your why. Bro, what are you trying to do in this world? I told you. Massive opportunity. And I say massive because of how vast and expansive it really is. Because what you're looking at is anything. I don't believe I'm exaggerating when I say that. Anything really does mean anything. That's just the kind of reality you and I are waking up to every single day. What are your interests? What is it that you enjoy? What is it that you don't enjoy, that you want to avoid? Things that you love, things that you already like, things that you already have a good deal of information on because you've so familiar with those films, or you've read that series over and over. You've played these games and you know them like the back of your hand. You like to be outside, or you're introverted like me and you want to stay inside. You want to foster a career that is financially abundant while working from home. You don't like dealing with people. You just want to stay in. Really, really get creative here. This is going to sound overly optimistic, but I'm only going to say it because I genuinely believe in it. And I really do hope it helps you. That is this age of exploration you are going to take yourself into. Because if you don't know, and many guys don't, I had no freaking clue a few years ago. This allows you to just begin exploring. That's why I said, this is that phase of your life. There's any question you could think to ask can be answered. That is the power within your hands. If you have a phone, if you have iPhone, Droid, is that what the kids still call the rival of the iPhone? Are they still droids, or are they galaxies now? I don't know. I've been an iPhone bro for a really long time. But I'm just saying, if you have a smartphone, there we go, or you have a PC of some sort, okay? See, like once again, screen, internet connection, okay, stable, right? Somewhat consistent. It doesn't even really have to be 5G, but just feel like 5G has become very normal, like the most common one. As long as it can connect and you have access to one of these apps, you can just really bring out all those questions you've ever had about the most amazing dream life that you want to live. See, I believe at that moment, that's where fear can really creep in. And it can really start to mess with you, brother. It messes with you because it's almost too much. If you agree with me, then yes, all the options are there. All the possibility is there. It's just really hidden behind you not knowing yet. But in 2026, that wall of ignorance is so easily pierced. I mean, not even. You can bring the whole freaking wall down at a moment's notice whenever you want to. This is the truth for any guy who is kind of, wandering in life. I mean, you are surviving, and that has to come first. I mean, that's awesome. But then after that, it's kind of just, belly's full, I'm protected from the elements. My electricity is running, and I'm about to use the internet for whatever I feel like. It's always in this kind of existence. The older you get, the more you begin to question, what else could I really do? Is this how I really want to live? Is this it forever? This is why I say prime. Prime is really 18 to 40, but really any age is able to do this. It just all comes down to, what are you willing to try? That's what you need to do. And any attempt in the beginning counts. It counts for miles. You mean, pick any given day of your current week. They're probably pretty typical. You're predictable in the way that you know them well. But quite possibly, you've already had many of them. It almost in the same exact fashion when that day of the week hits. So pick one and you can just use that day. There's no need to go crazy far into the future right now. You can. I mean, I highly recommend you just stay right here so that you can just see, what am I able to do for the next hour or so? How can I really live out this morning? And how can I live out this afternoon? And how can I live out this evening? That's going to help me get a little bit closer. This is it right here. To living the exact type of life that I truly want. I told you to use your why. Why do you want to do this? You're really interested. You're very passionate about this. This is something that you enjoy. This is something that is tolerable for you. This is just something that you know really well. None of those things. It's something that you just want to try. You actually don't know. You're going to have to try to find out. You have no idea. It's just, it's just right now, it's just sitting in your brain as, yeah, maybe that is something I would do. Then there's your goal. It can really be anything. Brother, the more clarity you have in here, the faster you're going to get to, just a solid routine and a cemented process for you to begin implementing. That's what a whole lot of the success stuff, I believe, just for human beings in general, it really does boil all the way down to trial and error. You try and succeed, GG, WP. You try and you fail. You learn from that failure and you try again. Here's the thing. A lot of guys that will try and maybe the failure will happen and then you get really discouraged. Or maybe you think, maybe this is a little bit worse. You think this isn't for me. You think I chose wrong. You think, oh, let me cross that off. Never again. If you simply find something to do in which it's okay for you to fail because you are willing to make the next attempt after that, brother, I introduce you to your own self-crafted process. Allow that process to lead you to what you want in life. You do this the right way. I truly believe whether you get what you want or not, I really hope you do. I mean, any of us hopes that in life. But I think the more important aspect to all of this, because it really begs the question, why bother? Why would you build this amazing life for yourself? Why try, okay, to do more than you already are? Surviving is tough enough as it is. You know, staying on top of your bills, making sure you got rent when it's due, et cetera, putting food on your table. Okay. I will say, because I'm not the healthiest dude, living as healthy as possible. You still have more time. You know what I'm saying? You're still making it to the next day and to the next. You're really only able to start building your best life after all this is taken care of. That's why you want to be careful. You don't want to waste time doing something that you never had any desire to do in the first place. Because there's this fatal mistake of making it about money, of making it about how people will see you, of making it about how this is going to make you look. I would much rather you make it about something that is bigger than you. Now, this pulls us a little bit deeper into this, and it also makes it a little bit more difficult to really grasp. Because if all of that is clear for you, you do want to change your life, you're beginning to take steps to do that. You checked out AI, ChatGPT, or you kept it old school and went on Google, YouTube, whatever. Okay? Maybe you read an article, you know what I'm saying, you read a book, your personal choice of how you like to consume information, but you have it. You do. You have enough answers to take the next step. Once all of that is acquired, your only remaining goal is to see it through, is to make sure that you really do give it the time. And I want to dive a little bit deeper right into this, because when I say give this enough time, that is incredibly vague. And for any man, possibly it is unrealistic as well. And this is what I mean. You're going to need to figure out how much time you can really sit down and stay focused, brother. Whatever that looks like for you. I don't want there to be any shame in this at all. Because it's really easy to go on the internet nowadays and you find people who are really working their freaking butts off. And it actually is very admirable and commendable. This is hours on hours and hours, days on days, weeks on weeks, and they just go, go, go. Months on months, years on years. That's what it needs to be. depending on how far you're trying to take it, depending on exactly what you're asking for in life before it's all said and done. Fair enough. But there's a certain level of satisfaction for any man to wake up, do exactly what he was planning to for that day, and then making the very best of it until he falls asleep again. That right there is amazing. That right there is purpose, brother. This is why crafting and creating your process to live that purpose is so important. And tonight, I'm really just vibing with you on exactly how to do that. That's what this is. That's what all of this is leading up to. So if you want to just use a day off for any man typically is going to give you the most breathing room. You'll be the most flexible on a day off. Okay. And I mean, you still kind of want to let it be a day off. So let's crank it back and maybe we'll say 4 hours. 4 hours is solid. Don't underestimate 4 hours. I remember the very first time I heard 4 hours and I laughed. I laughed at this fellow who was teaching it to me. 4 hours? What are you talking about? You know, my brain was so used to 9 to 5 vibes. My brain was so used to the, you know, Sigma grind set memes, hustle culture, you know, babble. No, 4 focused hours a day is incredibly helpful for any kind of life goals, dreams, and hopes that you are trying to chase. That's a lot right there because you're giving everything. So I don't think, oh, yeah, it doesn't sound so bad. Kumo 4 hours? Okay, sign me up. Oh, brother. Personally, I struggle to hit 4 clean hours. What I mean by clean is, you know, like I'm talking 4 laser hours. Like the world disappears for those 4 hours. I'm struggling. But that is the goal. If you don't struggle, you won't grow. So I want you to find where you can begin. Now we did that for info. We did that for if you don't know what to do. You know, we also kind of did that for, you know, like what is all this is for? You know, yeah, I'm trying to get married, trying to establish financial freedom for myself, trying to have some kids. You know, possibly you could have goals like this. If you do, I completely understand. So all of that breaks down into your daily choices, though. So with the info, with the data, you have your next step. You're pretty sure what it is that you want to do. Okay. Now it's time to get into it. So how long can you stay? How long can you sit with it and give all of yourself to it? See, that's why there's no shame. If that's 5 minutes, it's 5 minutes. I'm very willing to safely assume you can do more than 5 minutes. If that's 10, if that's 15, great. You can push a little bit further than that. Half hour, 45, awesome. 1 hour, 2 hours, okay. I mean, you're in prime process territory now. What? Take your time figuring that part out because you need to be able to stick with it long enough that you can build on it. So if you set 2 hours and you don't hit the 2 hours, that can be really discouraging. You set 2 and you only last for 30 minutes, then I mean, that's going to make you feel some type of way about yourself. What? I thought I was stronger than this. I thought I was capable of more. I don't know, bro. I thought I was more masculine than this. That's all trash. None of that matters. All that matters is you in the attempt. That's why I want you to stay there. This is exactly what I mean. Stay in your attempt, bro. 15, 20, 25, 30. Set the timer. I set all sorts of timers. I just, because I want to be able to hear it. I want some sort of audible signal to tell me you freaking did it. What? You did it. Okay. Remember that really satisfying feeling that you deserve to experience at least once a day. Let's do more. Let's do multiple times a day. But it's all good, bro. We can start with one where you just get to witness the fact, the experience that you were able to do what you set out to do. That's why you have to. This is what I mean by you have to find that tolerable window. Set it. Try and hit it. I think you'll surprise yourself. But just don't. But just be. This is be careful. You don't want to just say, okay, tomorrow I'll wake up and I'm gonna slam it for 6 hours straight. Hey, look, bro, if you really can do that, that's freaking amazing. You're an absolute phenom. But if the reality is you can really just right now, currently, brother, you gotta really rock with me for a second right here. It doesn't matter what you've been doing so far. It doesn't matter how life has been lately. Tired, kind of low energy, really no motivation, feeling, pretty lazy. This is me still right now, and I have my process. This is me on, I don't know, read yesterday, that kind of a little bit of today. Today was not bad, but my point is, it really does happen. None of us are perfect. Life is far from it. So I don't want you to get caught up in that. If you struggle with really hitting an early wake up time, then okay. When you get up, are you well rested? Then I think that's priority. I truly believe that's priority. All right. Because then after you are well rested, despite whatever time you are waking up, you're going to have the same 24 hours as anybody else. Okay. It's your day begins at a different time than a typical early bird. Sure, that's fine. See, a lot of these things don't matter nearly as much as you might think they do because of how long they've been stopping you from doing all of this. Really beginning. Brother, really getting into this. It's a lot to let go of, to be honest. A lot of guys, and it should be, logically speaking, it really should just be the attempt. It really should just be this simple. You shouldn't need all these other things to bog you down, because it's when you know what it is to do, you wake up and you do it. That's it. 15, 20, 25, 30 minutes, whatever your time is, you build from there. And that's awesome. That's not even that deep, bro. So how is it that so many guys nowadays, kind of walking around, not sure what it is that they want to do, the kind of life that they want to live? It's so difficult for them to try and live it, because anytime they make that attempt, they get into it, they think, but I'm too stressed right now. I'm dealing with depression. See, life gets so real. These are not things that you can really talk about with anyone else. Who would know? And whoever could know, who would care? So a lot of men, they're going to keep it to themselves. Brother, right here between you and me, I get it. I really do. I get that. Especially if you've been dealing with these kinds of negative aspects of life for years and years and years, they can really dig into you. Stay deep, stuck in you. It's hard. They're hard to pull out. It takes time. It's very painful. When you're so used to maybe sipping that sip, maybe you're so used to hitting that puff, you are so used to going to that very specific website at that time every single evening. You are so used to some of these things, it's very difficult to stop bro. But you can the moment you start something else that isn't them. That's all. That's what you need. That's the attempt that you're building all of this for. Because relapse is a punk. You know, you may be struggling with your own personal demons right now. The thing about being a man in 2026 is you have to do everything that you and I talked about tonight while you're still carrying them. I want to take off as many as possible from you right now. So, I mean, you might look a certain way, you might walk and talk a certain way, and it just doesn't look like that Clark Kent silhouette society has built for you and me. But I don't feel qualified. So, should I really do this? Should I really get into everything that we've been talking about tonight? Brother, I would say yes. I would say, I really think you should. Because that's your ticket to get out of this. Now, I'm not going to be able to make that decision for you. That decision right there, only you're going to know. Do you really enjoy any of this? Before trying. That's what I mean. Before rebuilding your life, before, like really giving it everything you got. Is it okay for you to stay here like this? If it's not, and see, this is where you got to get really honest right here. You're just really trying to use the truth. Man, the truth is tricky. Conceptually speaking, I don't even really understand it. I just try and follow the gentleman who I believe does fully get it. Jesus really does, I believe, genuinely understand how truth works. And so when I think about that and I try to use mine, then that forces me to be as honest as possible with my current life situation. And when you do that for yourself, you're going to see a lot of things you don't want to see. I mean, well, I'm this old now, whatever your age is. It's going to be really difficult. I wish I had a 9 to 5. That could be you, because I do blue collar. I do 50, 60, 70. It's not going to give you a lot of time back. But time is what you will still have. See, I believe this is when you're really using the truth now. You can't deny the amount of time life is going to give back to you, brother. And if you have it, it's enough. If you have it, it's enough. That's it. One day off. Maybe you don't have any days off. Is that extreme? That's what I wanted to say right there. That's kind of pushing it to the extreme. What, no days off? Like, what kind of job do you have? But I mean, brother, nowadays in 2026, it ain't looking too good out there. So if you don't have any days off, then now you're going to be wrestling with, how much free time do I really have before I need to pass the frick out? Or you don't want to, but you do because you're so tired from surviving and paying your bills and doing what you got to do as a man. That might not be that much time, but it's still plenty if you're willing to devote it to how you truly want to live. That's why it's okay. It's okay to get really honest here. I'd like to lose a few pounds. I'm not showing you. This is not that kind of podcast, but the muffin top I'm rocking is freaking crazy. I can't get rid of it. And I've been lifting for years. Lift. don't take it from me. Take it from the amazing physique you're going to build if you can get consistent with that. I don't want this to veer off to, because I could totally, I'm a big fan of bodybuilding and I highly recommend it for any man that's interested in experiencing his own physicality. Seeing what your capabilities really are. How strong could you really get, brother? This is my favorite question. How jacked could you really get? That is an amazing quest for any man, I have to say. Okay. And I'm not saying this is a strictly male thing. Man, see, everybody's hating on me nowadays because I'm a little bit too one-sided towards the boys, and I really can't help it because look at the name of my podcast, bro. But anyone should train to be super healthy. I just think you and I grew up with that, very like Disney princess, it's like, have you seen The Notebook? Do you know what I mean? Have you seen like, oh man, I'm trying to think of some really good ones right now. Like, have you seen Romeo and Juliet? There are so many Romeo and Juliets. Maybe the most recent one isn't that the one with Leo way back in the day? And this is like the young Chad Leo, and I don't remember the chick, but I heard that was actually a great. Brother, how did we get to Romeo and Juliet? Ah, yes, of course. Knowing how you really do want to look like ideally, it is a wonderful thing to chase in life. I mean, like that can be the goal. If, you're kind of, trying to uh, be reborn through this physical and health phase of your life. I mean, there you go. That's why I say lift. Okay. But lifting for all this time, for this long, where am I? Year 4. So I'm going into my 4th year. And for me, that's super dope. I'm really proud to say that. But I still can't get rid of this thing. Okay, so now I'm able to say, brother, you like just don't judge yourself right now in that moment. It's okay, dude. It's all good. If you want to try, brother. Try. Because if you're keeping it real, we do that here at the Pillars of Man. You know that you want to. That's why I would say just let yourself. The opportunity is there. You don't need to be afraid of it. Okay, because now we're kind of getting back a little bit to that. You don't feel qualified. Like you don't feel like you're that guy. You're not the type of person because routine, positive, negative can really cement a man over a certain period of time. And you get so used to it. Okay, doing what you've been doing all the time. That's fine. It's not so fine when you don't want to anymore. Bro, you don't want to. I mean, how can you really know that? You kind of dread it. Right? There's a lot of hesitation. There's a lot of resistance. You don't really want to go. It's tough, man. I've been there too. It's freaking tough, bro. You hear your alarm and it's just, goodness gracious. It's like, I don't know, some kind of prison cell, ring alarm system, a signal of, okay, life kind of just whipping you onward. You will continue to live like this. No, you really don't have to. You can choose in this way. You're living in a time period that really allows you to. It's absolutely amazing. To take full advantage of this is to just be brave enough to try as the man that you are right now. And brother, I don't know who told you. I don't know where you got from who, from where, from what, that you aren't that man, that you are not good enough to start right now as you are. That just simply is not the case. Please, bro, you qualify. You really do. You really do qualify. Okay. If you're anything like me, brother, you were born and raised here. You come from American soil. You understand the liberties and the opportunities that we have as citizens of this great nation. Is such a beautiful thing to call this place home. Why would you not be able to flourish in it, to prosper in it, to have what it is that you say you want to have in life? That is absolutely amazing. And you don't have anything stopping you but you. If 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 you qualify where you are, you're definitely going to need the internet. I mean, I want to be careful with absolutes. I try. Honestly, that's not even the end all be all. If you, I mean, I'm sorry, bro. It's just like, how are you watching me right now, brother? Bro, where are you? Like, how are we vibing together? Reliable. It could be at a buddy's place. That's so I can't imagine. I really can't imagine. You know what I'm saying? Yo, John, what up? Yeah, you trying to chill? I'm headed over to your place and chill today. By the way, we're gonna be watching this episode for this. But oh my god, bro! Like, thank you, but reliable internet. You're definitely gonna need that. I would say. So just a screen connection. All right, you need some shelter, brother. I don't know. I'm a big fan of showers. You know what I mean? I'm a pretty stinky dude too. Saying day job really got me, getting super physical out there. I am on the move, quite literally, and so showers are super dope. I mean, you want that running water. Let's stay clean, okay? Right? Even if you don't want to stay clean, brother, I promise you, the ladies want you to stay clean. You feel me? You feel me, big dog? So that's a priority. You definitely want that. And then you get some good food. I heard something brilliant the other day. Get one good meal. Get one good meal. Do we need 3 plum meals a day? I'm a fan. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a massive fan. Oh my god. Yes. Okay. You know what I'm saying? With the steak and the eggs, a little bacon, butter on the side, one pancake, because I'm managing sugar right now. If I had it my way, it'd be so many pancakes. One pancake, you know what I'm saying? Like the low sugar, okay, syrup. Oh my god. All right. That's a serious breakfast. Don't eat the way I eat. Please don't write that down. If you're taking notes or something like that, no, bro. You can definitely do a way healthier breakfast than that. That's just like those are mortal weaknesses of mine. Lunch, you know what I'm saying? Dinner. Oh man, bro. I think lunch is my favorite time of the day. If it's not my favorite time of the day, it's tied with dinner. And if it's not lunch and dinner, then it is a three-way tie between lunch, dinner, and breakfast. Maybe breakfast loses a little bit simply because I'm just not as hungry in the morning. But by the time lunchtime rolls around, I am so hungry. Holy schmoly. It's just crazy. It is. I know. We've talked about a lot tonight. But when you put it all together, this is absolutely insane. This is so crazy. It's the opportunity of life that you have. That's what's so crazy. And if you don't live it, if you don't let yourself, when you know you want to, if you don't just, hey, brother, try and just see what happens. Just try. Just try, bro. You're going to go insane. And most of the time, that allows me to say, you don't have to take my word for that. But you know what? Tonight's, for this heart to heart, I do, bro. I do want you to take my word for that. I've been there. I've been in that worry-free, carefree, responsibility-free, everybody pretty much. It's a very young and restless lifestyle. Middle fingers up. I don't care. What do I have to care about? Suck it. What? I'm just gonna wake up and do what I want. You can't bother me because I have a job, and this job, I pay my bills, I pay my rent, I buy my own food. Do you know what I mean? I'm not breaking no laws. I'm not stealing. I do my best not to steal. Okay, so it's all good. No, I'm not. I'm not out here like shoplifting. Oh, good lord! Uh, just couldn't think of a good punch. And no, I'm paying for everything. Like I'm being a responsible adult. Okay, it's just after work I go home, right, and I lock myself in this, maybe like a very humble, you know, small, enclosed, sheltered room. In that room, I really felt as though I had everything that I needed and I wouldn't need anything else. I just think that's crazy right there, bro. Because you feel like you don't need any of this purpose stuff. You don't need to try. You don't need to go for this attempt. Live your best life, become your best self, become the best man you can possibly be. You really do start going insane. It's so crazy. And I didn't believe it till I lived it for so long. Like the games, the corn, not the kind on the cob, the all the Chiba, you know what I'm saying, bro? The hazy green, all of these, substances, vices, just like the places you can go wherever. I mean, I'm not even hating on the pub like that. They're dope. I was at one the other night and I was really looking around like, this is kind of fresh. This is just a great night. But when it's like that every single night, when your life is nothing but these things that are cheap, they're quick, they're fast, they're easy, they're effortless. You and I were not built like that. I just don't believe men are built for much more than that, because I believe in the image that we were created from. That is God Almighty. I don't even know if this is how that works. This might be controversial. Because God is limitless. God is infinite. God is outside of all of this. He's, I like to call him Dad. Dad is so deep, we can't actually comprehend it. We can try, but we have our limits as mortal men. But what you and I are able to do in this one life that we get is because you and I have a spark, a Father within us. That spark right there, that's really all it takes. That's you. That's you living, breathing, thinking, imagining, trying. These are all the things that you are able to do. Any man that can see me right now, or you can just hear me, any man that was here for this episode tonight, that's what you're able to do, bro. This is undeniable. I see this as a law of our existence, a blessing and a curse that we must carry as modern male human beings going through the masculine human experience in 2026. Brother, it is at this moment I said everything to say, seize yours. Take it. Try. It's going to be the greatest moment of your life, because you're going to look back at that moment as the day that everything changed. It changed because you said so. Because you really allowed yourself to go for something different than how it's always been. That's all. You try, big guy. You try. And if you're looking for another fellow doing the same, out here on this tiny little corner of the internet, then by all means, brother, you catch me here at the Pillars of Man podcast. That's what I do. I talk and freestyle about movies, anime, and life to help you with yours. If you like content like that, hit the subscribe button for me. You're listening on Spotify? Follow me on there. Wherever you find this, shoot me a follow. Because I'd love to catch you for the next one, brother. And I wish you the best. I hope this was valuable. I hope that, like anything I said helped you. You agree? Disagree? Helpful? Not helpful at all. What the frick is this guy talking about? Let me know. I'm super curious. I'm here to learn as well. Write in my comments. So, best of luck, brother. I will catch you for the next one. But until then, take it easy. Take good care of yourself. And I love you so much. Peace.